Everybody, it is October 16th, Friday. So happy Friday. What I was going to talk about today is, um, let's say, not quite conflicting evidence, but lack of evidence on basically hidden evidence. Um, and as we all know, once you if you have you've got like a critical mind and especially a curious mind, that's kind of in a sense what this group is all about. It's like I don't have a goal in mind. For instance, I'm not going to try to make sure I find somebody guilty of something. What it is I have got the mind that's going. Let's just throw back the curtain. Let's find out what's really going on, and I'll just have to accept it. Whatever the truth is, the truth is. And sometimes I'm more. It's more about just exposing the truth. Now, as we go along in life, I'm suspecting a lot of things for sure. We all suspect things, and I've seen a lot of evidence of corruption. It's like, oh man, they gotta be paid off. The reason why they're doing this or whatever. And we all also, the older you get, you understand. Um, even from just being a child, if you're lying to your parents or if you stole a chocolate bar or something, it all starts off with lies. You all start off with like, no, I didn't. And then as as things get more exposed, then they have evidence like a chocolate bar wrapper, and they go, "Well, where'd you get this from? If you didn't have a chocolate bar?" Go, that's my friend's chocolate bar wrapper. You know, you try to maintain that lie as much as you possibly can, and you try to stick to it. Well, we notice that in a grand scale when it comes to political corruption as well, and it starts off with lies, but as we all also know, if you have an analytical mind at all, that you start realizing it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like a lot of lies just don't make sense. It just doesn't add up, and that's kind of what for me. That's like one of the first indications to start digging deeper. Now, I also understand there's a lot of people out there that don't want. They're not even curious. To me, it's so different from the type of thinking that I have. And I'm not saying my way is the only way. I understand how people want to just forget about things or just let things fly. If it's not that big of a deal or something. But when you see such a global corrupted system, you start realizing to yourself, which I mean, this before I even got really deep into this, even 20, 30 years ago, I was like, man, there's a lot of corruption out there. Just City Hall seems corrupt, or my state or my province seems corrupt. Like, it's just things are just not adding up. But then you're thinking, well, maybe we're just going through some bad times. And eventually it'll clear it up. Maybe there's some good people will get elected. Whatever. It's more from a naive perspective. Um, anyway, so the older you get, you realize, okay, there's something really seriously wrong. And um, so basically, what you're trying to do is looking for evidence. So because, like I said, going back to the chocolate bar wrapper, eventually there's a kind of a trail of evidence that you start seeing, and then it becomes circumstantial evidence at first, and then you don't really have like a confession or anything. But we're at a crossroads right now with uh, with basically both sides saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy. You're just a conspiracy theorist. You're making stuff up, and you're lying it, and you're photoshopping, whatever." And then there's us going, "No, this is actually these are real photographs. This is real incriminating evidence and stuff like that." So basically, we got these two sides going. Well, show me the money. Show me the evidence. And I got to admit, everybody needs evidence to really okay, beyond a shadow of a doubt. You've got the smoking gun. Now I believe you. So that's part of our human nature, and I get that. You can't convict somebody on just an opinion or your perspective. So I get that. Um, but what's frustrating for us, truthers or basically fact finder, not fact finders, but yeah, we just want to want to get to the bottom of this corrupted story. Um, when you first realize, I mean, there's actual documented evidence too that I think it was back in the 80s or something. I mean, a lot of these laws sort of sneak through and are passed, or these bills, and nobody hears about them. But the media is no longer obligated to tell the truth. They fell under a category of entertainment. Uh, so it's literally almost like the National Enquirer. They don't necessarily have to prove things. The only thing they have to watch out for is for slander. Then they're liable. But they can make up stuff all the time. So you start realizing the journalists that we thought were honest and true, they're not saying the truth at all. And as a matter of fact, then you start realizing, well, they're hiding the truth, and then you realize they're part of the problem. As a matter of fact, it becomes a propaganda tool for our controllers and a way of hiding stuff. Because there's been quite a few times in my lifetime. I remember when I thought, whoa, they caught somebody doing something, or they got somebody's laptop and they're going to expose this person. This is going to be awesome. This is great. Well, that information gets buried really quickly. And as we know, they know how to hide their tracks for sure. They're extremely good at that. So they know how to do damage control. They don't want any of this truth coming out. So uh, as time goes on, to be honest, as long as the corrupt are still in power, it's very similar to that situation where if you realize there's a crooked cop, then you say to yourself, well, that cop's on the take. Then you think, well, who am I going to tell? Tell another cop? No, you got to be careful of that. So you go, well, I'm going to go above their head. I'm going to go to like the sergeant or the captain, or or the police chief. I want to go all the way to the top. Say to the police chief, hey, you got some corruption there. You better deal with some corrupt policemen or whatever. Then you realize it falls on deaf ears and it goes nowhere. And you go, oh shit, he's in on it. He's in on it. He's going to hide the evidence too, like nothing ever becomes of that story. That has been happening times what, thousands of all over the world. Then you realize, how far up the ladder does this corruption go? And then when you start digging really deep, either you disappear, you get sick. That's if you ask too many questions. You you'll drown, you'll catch cancer. Who knows? But somehow they always take you out. And that's one of the things. If you're like me, you start researching all this stuff. You start realizing, wait a minute, the people that were trying to expose the truth, they didn't last that long. Not only they got, ridiculed, and and everybody said that they were wrong, but they were right. They were right, and now they're gone. So this is a reoccurring problem for us. So as we know, the position we're in right now is, if you can imagine, there's a bunch of very influential, let's say, military people and political people that know how corrupt this is. It goes corrupt all the way to the top. And they basically banded together going, we have to fix this system somehow. And of course, there's the regular people, working folks like us out in the world, and we're going, yeah, I'll get behind something. If you guys are going to expose all these bad politicians in this bad world, count me in. I'll be in on it. But we also want to do it from our armchair perspective, and we don't want to get involved too much because, first of all, we don't want to lose our jobs, and we also don't want to end up accidentally drowning or something like that, or accidentally committing suicide, not on purpose. So, yeah, this becomes really, really tricky. So we're at the position right now where we have these two sides going, well, show me the money, show me the proof, and it's coming out. And for us, it's like not fast enough. Like I was expecting this years ago, let alone I was hoping that this spring. So, I mean, I'm getting excited, as this corruption gets exposed, but I'm also going, please, you got to hang in there. Don't disappear on me. Don't. It's like your key witness. Don't disappear. Don't die on me. So, as things play out, but then also when you understand the bigger picture, also I'm going to kind of go more deeper into this, is when people start realizing, which I mean, the only way they're going to know this stuff is when it slowly gets more exposed, is in a sense both sides of this issue. Let's say the corruption and versus the honest people. It's almost like this is a battle between good and evil right now. It's we're getting help from not only off-planet entities, and that's why it's easy for the dark side to uh, not be worried about that as much. What I mean is like us trying to expose, going, yeah, well, we think there's extraterrestrials that are actually helping us out or whatever. We could be dead right, but the other side is going, yeah, you should say that to the public because yeah, they're going to really believe you about that. Well, anyway, like I said, when I'm searching for truth, is I don't care necessarily if it's you know a frog that comes to life and starts singing or whatever, or whatever, or you know, it could be a talking ant or something. I don't, to me, it might be a little bit shocking stuff, but what I'm getting at is like if the truth is the truth, the truth is the truth. Okay, so that's the way it is. So I've got an open mind, and for instance, I know pretty much beyond a shadow of a doubt by now that there is a lot of extraterrestrial out help out there as well, there's good and bad. And from my perspective now, okay, I'm going more into the woo woo stuff, but the dark side knows that we've been brainwashed into basically trained to not believe in any of that stuff. So when this thing keeps getting more and more exposed, it isn't just a bunch of corrupt human beings. It's beyond that. They're actually getting uh, the dark side is being influenced by dark entities, and now the light is fighting back with good entities. If you kind of get where I'm going with this, so and if it wasn't for that, and if it was just up to human beings trying to figure this out, we probably wouldn't. So, and it was the fact that we're getting help from off planet is a reason why this is going to be exposed more. Let me put it this way: if it was just a matter of uh, one side of the mafia or the good police versus bad mafia or something, as an example, the mafia is really quite strong. If someone starts telling the truth on this side, they can take them out. They've done that for thousands of years, let alone hundreds of years. So, what I've been kind of noticing lately is, which is good, is the good guys are being protected beyond just human beings. They've got extra help. So that's why they haven't been able to take out a lot of good guys at this point. So me, I'm really crossing my fingers, going, please just hang in there. You've got to expose the truth. Just we're getting help from outside, which we are, and now I'm definitely over the last few years, I'm definitely coming to the conclusion that not only are we getting off-planet help, but we're actually getting okay, uh, creator help. And it was, I used this analogy the other day to explain it to somebody, but I said it's almost like you're watching a bully beat up on your kid. Now, normally, like if you got a lot of confidence in your kid, you're gonna, well, I taught him some cool moves. He knows a little bit of karate or whatever, so yeah, he'll be able to fare well. But if you see them fighting, whatever. But if you're, you know, if you realize that this bully is not playing fair and he's taking him on, you want to basically stand back and make sure that your son doesn't get hurt. So in a sense, that's kind of how I'm looking at this now. Like we have Creator or God, however you want to say it, standing back, going, okay, let's see. I'm gonna see if you guys could duke this out, but I'm gonna make sure that the truth gets out no matter what. Is kind of the position we're in right now. So I'm getting more confidence because I see a lot more evidence of that. So when we've got not only the backing of a lot of good people and good off-planet help, and we are starting to see a lot of their system being torn down, it's just a matter of time before this truth comes out, and it'll be undeniable. And that's the proof that we're all waiting for. So going back to what I was saying earlier, it's it's showtime. You know, this I'd say, yeah, but probably by the end of this month, or well, definitely by the end of the year. But in November, a lot more truth bombs are going to be exposed, and they won't be able to deny it. The mainstream media, as much as they're trying to hide this stuff, no, it's going to be too. Well, as you notice, what's happening right now is they're blocking all that truth, whether it's Facebook, taking Twitter down, everything, because it's actually just too much truth. In other words, they can't hide. They can't hide it anymore. It's just too much. It's coming at them. It's a floodgate. They can only plug up so many holes, and that dike is going to break. And that's the position I think we're at right now. So as far as proof, believe me, I want it as much as anybody else does. We have to kind of just have faith that the truth will come out, and no matter how disturbing it is, we all have to deal with it. So let's carry on. Still stay positive. Like I said, we're actually part of this. We have to envision a really good outcome to try to help. So anyway, have a good weekend, and let's just watch this show unfold. Okay, bye.